Yeah, pretty good. I mean, it was a really nice, beautiful send-off with his memorial service on Saturday. I think for most of us that was a bit of closure. It was our chance to say goodbye, and probably since that Saturday afternoon, our focus has purely been on getting back to focusing on round one. So time will tell, but the boys seem in a really good headspace before we head over today.
So you don't use it as any motivation?
No, we won't mention it at all in the pre-game. Or I think players will be driven their own personal way, whether it's with the memories of Dean or whether it's the opportunity to play well in round one. But I can't see myself those sort of cliches, do it for Bales, and whether it's round one or round 20 or in the finals. We'll just leave it up to the players to use their own inspiration.
See any rookies out there? Do you have any idea who you might elevate to VB?
Not at this stage. I mean, all four rookies have performed well at different times through the pre-season. We saw Charlie Cameron play well in that NAB Cup game against Port, so we'll just sort of see how it settles down. We've got pretty good depth at the moment, so even though we've got a lot of our sort of first team A-graders out, it still looks like we're going to pick a really good side this week. It looks like with our depth we'll be able to still put a really strong fit side onto the park. So we'll elevate a rookie when we want to play one. So there's 25 that you saw running around there today. That's our squad for tomorrow night.
Have you settled on a 22 yet, Brenton?
Pretty much, yeah. We'll take 23 over, so we'll just take over the one emergency. But the 22 that we're looking at finalising is certainly fit and ready to play.
Is Matt Crouch done enough to debut in round one?
Yeah, he has. That would be a great story if both Crouches played in this first week. But yeah, ultimately we'll just sort of see how the side settles down. But we're still debating whether the three talls can fit in, whether it's McKernan, Podsiadly, Jenkins, and also too what our midfield looks like. Yeah, with Douglas, who's Douglas' replacement from last week will be.
Is this a good time to play Geelong?
I don't think there's any good time to play Geelong when it's at Geelong. I think that's the toughest road trip in the AFL. It's for whatever reason they play that ground really well, and it will be a tough assignment for us. But we're certainly going over there to win and to play well. And yeah, whether it's round one or whether it's the last game of the season, I don't think there's any good time to play the Cats at Skilled.
Sorry, Brendan, do you feel real confident going in this year compared to last year? Is there a different sense of confidence among you and the team? Yeah,
I think so. I think we're fit and we're strong, and there seems to be really good resilience amongst the boys at the moment. And even though we've had a couple of injuries just recently, I'm still really happy with the guys that we've put into the side. So, guys like Lewis Johnson, who performed really well in the State League trial last week, and Sam Kerridge played really well. I mean, those guys, there's still plenty of talent that haven't been in our NAB Cup games this year, and we've probably got an extended squad of about 30 to 32 players who are just ready to go. So that's helpful when you do have a couple of injuries.
Brent, when do you finalise your 22? Do you sit down this afternoon? Committee or have you already internally done that?
We've pretty much done it, yeah. It's just, as I said, we'll take 23 over. We still don't know Geelong's side as well. So we, unfortunately, being a Thursday night game, the sides aren't released in Melbourne time till 6:30 tonight. So yeah, we'll obviously pick our 22, and then we'll have just a little bit of a look at what Geelong are doing as well with their 22, and whether there's a late change, we'll have to just wait and see.
Can you tell us who's out of your 25?
Who's out from last week?
No, the 25 to train today. Are you going to drop out of that 25?
No, I don't think I can tell you. I think I've got to hold that till the AFL deadline. Yeah, I would tell you that.
The decision you're making for that 23rd player, is that over the talls, depending on what they throw at you?
Pretty much, yeah. It's a little bit about the talls. It's a little bit about how they structure, whether they play three rucks, whether they play, they can play Simpson, Blitzavs and McIntosh. So whether we go the three talls as well, but yeah, we're pretty much set. We're sort of 95% there.
Do you expect them to play those three talls?
Yes and no. We've looked at them, but I mean, most of our focus probably, don't know, 75% of our focus has been on how we pick our side and how we play. But we also have to respect what the opposition do as well and how they structure up. But we've got pretty good balance either end too, with talls and smalls both ends, and some guys that can play a variety of roles as well, both forward and back. So yeah, I'm quietly confident with the team that we've selected we can get the points.
The rotations have been interesting in the first week. You were one who was against the cap.
Yep.
Will you be pushing the cap out?
Yeah, I think we will. We'll certainly get it right up to the 120. It has been interesting, the other games. I mean, some of the teams have rotated only 70 or 80 times, but we'll certainly be pushing the 120. We'll try and get right up there. I think we play better when we put speed on the game, and ultimately that'll be our objective still.
Geelong are very short favourites. How does the underdog tag sit with you?
That's fine. I mean, even in previous years when we've played really well, we didn't go in as favourites very often. It's and I don't think the players look at what the betting is or whether who's favourite and who's not. But we certainly respect this team. Geelong's a very good side, particularly at Simmons Stadium. But we won't fear them. We'll go over there with a good young side that's ready to play.
You've got a fair bit of insight now into how they go about things. A bit of a cliche question, but has Jake Pod offered anything new in that regard?
Yeah, he has. I mean, we've certainly leaned on Podsy a fair bit in the last couple of weeks just to make sure there's nothing that we haven't missed. But he's been great. It's probably a little bit of pressure on him too. Playing against his former club in round one, but yeah, he's been really good. But we feel like we do know Geelong pretty well. Obviously, I haven't been there for a few years, and neither has Darren Milburn. But we sort of feel like we know how Geelong play. We know a lot about their players. We know a lot about this ground. So we'll certainly go over there well prepared.
And did he open your eyes to anything, Jake? In terms of anything you missed?
Yeah, there's probably a few things there that we weren't entirely across, but they would have made some changes too over the summer period. So I'm sure there's going to be a couple of little things which might surprise us with their setups and structures. But yeah, we're probably one of the sides in the competition, maybe with Essendon, with Mark Thompson and Chapman there as well now, and Gold Coast with Gazza up there. There's probably now they're starting to, that old Geelong connection starting to spread its wings a little bit. So yeah, we certainly feel like we've got enough information. It's whether we can execute it now.
How's Jay Pod feeling playing at the club, and what are your expectations of him?
Well, he's just got to compete. I mean, the fairy tale story would be that he would go over there and kick a bag of goals for us and that we'd win. But ultimately, he's there to provide a contest for us. This is an extremely good Geelong defence, with Harry Taylor, Lonergan, Enright, Mackie. Those guys have been playing footy together for 7 or 8 years, constantly. So they have got good chemistry there. It'll be an emotional game for James, I'm sure. He won a premiership there and he played there for 4 or 5 seasons. So, yeah, well, I think from our point of view, internally we're just hoping that he competes at every contest. If he can jag a couple of goals to go along with that, that'll be fantastic.
How tough is this task? I mean, everyone's saying it's the toughest road trip in footy.
Yep.
First up, what are your expectations from your boys? How do you win?
Oh, we've just got to stay in the contest, We've just got to break it down to, not even the first quarter, we've just got to break it down to contest by contest by contest, And we've got a pretty good record against Geelong, In season, we've won 2 and lost 1 in the last 2 years. They beat us there last year, but we had a couple of injuries in that game. We had to sub a couple of tools off, but we're certainly going over there with a fair bit of confidence. And even though this is a tough road trip, we certainly won't fear them.
How pleasing was it to see Richie Douglas running around out there?
Yeah, very good. Even Tom Lynch and Douglas are up and going now, and they're probably going to come back earlier than expected and earlier than first diagnosed, which is great news for our fans and great news for us. But we certainly won't take any risks with those players either. If Douglas makes himself available, he's still got to get the approval from surgeons and doctors and that sort of thing. But yeah, great to see both those boys running around today.
Make afc.com.au your first destination for all things Crows. You'll find exclusive content, player interviews, video, behind the scenes action, photos and highlights.